Hi you guys, welcome back to my channel. If this is your first video you've ever watched of mine, hello, my name is Lonyea, and in today's video we're going to be doing another Learn with Lon video in the sense of a foundation and tips and tricks and things like that. I've definitely done like a video like this, but it's been quite a bit. So if this is something that you're interested in, then please keep on watching. Okay, so when applying foundation, and if foundation is something that you struggle with, I'm gonna try to give you a couple of tips and tricks on things that you can do to help with that. So the first thing with foundation, the actual foundation, is you want to figure out your skin type, and you want to make sure that you take care of your skin. So your makeup and your foundation is only going to look as good as your skin. So if you struggle with acne, hyperpigmentation, rosacea, anything skin related, it is definitely recommended that you talk to a dermatologist. If you can't afford a dermatologist like me, research, read things, try out different skincare brands. It's very expensive. It took me, so I started working at Walgreens in like 2017, I think it was 17, maybe. Yeah, I think it was 2016 or 17. I can't remember off the top of my head, but my role was the beauty advisor. So I pretty much had to learn about the skincare products that were there, and they gave a lot of samples and a lot of product to us. So I used a lot of that, and I figured out what worked for my skin tone and what I really enjoyed and what I didn't really enjoy. I still have a lot of that product in my hallway closet that I just don't use, but I just feel like it's a waste to throw away. But anyways, definitely want to try out skincare, figure out what works for you. Personally, for me, I have pretty normal skin now. I still get oily in the nose area and above the eyebrows, but that is to be expected. But I used to be oily all over, and now I'm not. I use African black soap personally for my skin, especially at nighttime whenever I do my makeup, because I want to make sure that all of this makeup is stripped off at night, and that's another thing that I'll mention. But I use African black soap at night, and during the day or whenever I shower, I use the La Roche-Posay and Thelios face wash. La Roche-Posay you can find at Ulta or Walgreens, and it's more so of it's like a French brand. It's really good stuff. It's dermatologist created and everything like that. I really love it. And I also really love the Vichy water gel cream and the Vichy cream. They're both about $30, so they're pretty expensive at Walgreens and at Ulta, but use your points at both stores. Use your points. But I use those creams, the water gel in the morning and the cream at night, and I also use a serum from Pixie to really make sure that my skin is getting nice and locked in. So I have a it's not a difficult regime, but it is extensive to some people. But you want to make sure that you take care of the skin underneath of the makeup, because your skin will not look good with the makeup on top. Makeup does not make your skin look, it makes your skin look better, but it doesn't make your skin look amazing. I mean, I don't really know how to put that. If your skin is bad underneath of the makeup, it'll look bad with makeup over the top, I guess is what I'm trying to say. But make sure that you strip off all makeup at night. So when I do my makeup routine at night, I use a oil-based Neutrogena facial oil. Put it all over my dry skin, get all the makeup off, rinse that off, go in with my African black soap, wash my face. I usually rub my face for about 2 minutes, and then I rinse that off. And then after that, I go in with a toner, because you want to use a toner, because toner grabs everything else that has been left that the face wash didn't get off. I use a toner, then I go in with my serum, and then I go in with my cream. So that is my routine. Extensive as hell, but that is why my skin has improved as much as it's improved. If you've watched me for quite a bit, you know I used to have a lot of black spots on the top of my face and acne and everything. Go back to my videos in 2014 and 15 and you'll be like, wow girl, yeah, your skin looks good. So that is my little tidbit on skincare. Now I'm going to get started on the face routine, and if you haven't already gone ahead and subscribed, then please go ahead and subscribe. Okay, so for primer is the first step that you always want to use. It's not completely necessary. I personally like to use it because I don't like I don't like applying foundation just directly to my skin. I guess you can call that the phobia of mine, but this is the Touch and Soul No Problem Primer. This is a really good primer. I used it this past weekend and I really enjoyed it. I used 2 different primers for 2 different things. This one goes all over the face, and I used my Cover FX blurring primer just in my cheek areas because I have really large pores. So I'm going to take this, and I think of a primer as like a condom. So you're not, unless you're married, gonna go in and, do the thing without using any type of protection. So most primers have SPF in them. They have anti-aging properties, things like that could help the skin. Plus you've got your skincare underneath. So, to each its own. Figure out what works best for you and your skin type and your skin concerns, and then go from there. So for foundation, I tried this concoction out this past weekend, and I really, really, really liked it. Like, I looked flawless. This is the ColourPop No Filter Stick Foundation, and this is in 185W, and it's pretty light, and it's pretty warm. So I'm just going to put a couple of strips on my skin. And I do like this foundation, but I obviously need a deeper, darker shade because this shade isn't the best. But when I mix it with my NYX Total Control Drop Foundation, which is my favorite foundation at the moment, it just works really well because this one's a little more neutral, so it just works. And okay, I know that I'm applying a lot of foundation, but you don't have to apply a lot of foundation. This foundation might just be enough for some people. And honestly, it's enough for me as well, but I guess you could just say I'm extra. Like foundation doesn't have to be caked on. You actually don't want it to be caked on because you don't want to have what they call cake face. So depending on your skin type, depending on your skin concerns, depending on your age, depending on your preference, will determine how much or how little that you use. I like a full coverage appearance, even though my skin isn't terrible. It's just a preference of mine. So I use quite a bit of foundation, but you don't have to. That's the fun thing about doing makeup videos and playing around with makeup is all personal and whatever you personally feel like you need for your skin type. I'm using a JH03 brush. This is from the Jaclyn Hill collection. I really, really, really like this collection of brushes. If you don't have brushes or anything like that, this collection is really great. If you can't afford this collection, BH Cosmetics and Moda brushes has some really good brushes, so you guys can check them out as well. And this is just like a rounded kabuki brush. It gets more surface area and things like that. Okay, so for concealer, I'm going to use my ColourPop No Filter Concealer in Dark 42. And this is going to go underneath of my eyes. And this is pretty much gone. I should probably open up my new one. I'm like scraping the bottom of the barrel pretty much with this concealer. Trying to get as like all of it out as I can. But okay, so before I even, because right now I'm just kind of going, because it's just my regular routine, but concealer. So I am technically highlighting, which is just bringing the features of my face forward, but it's not necessary. You can go in with a tad bit of concealer like this. This is about how much I put on last night and just blended it out with a brush and then set it down with a brush. I didn't put on any foundation just to kind of give the idea of my under eye being done. But you can go in with a tiny bit. You don't need a ton of concealer as most YouTubers do. It's more so like Instagram makeup or yeah, I guess you could just say Instagram makeup. It's not really editorial. They don't really do this for like editorial work, so keep that in mind when doing it, if you know what I mean. Just do what you feel is best for you. If you're a little older, it might not be best to apply too much concealer underneath of the eyes because you don't want to cake it under there, because I don't want to offend anybody, but most older women have wrinkles or crow's feet or smile lines or anything like that that could possibly, applying so much concealer could make them look a little older. That's the downfall of the concealer. But once again, do what you feel, because if you want to bake to the gods and highlight, then go ahead and do whatever you want. Makeup. It's fun. It's supposed to be fun, I should say. Okay guys, you want to set your under eye concealer. You can set it with a sponge, you can set it with a brush, you can set it with whatever you may or whatever you want to. Sometimes I like to use a brush, sometimes I like to use a sponge. It all depends on whichever way the wind blows. I'm going to use my Sacha Buttercup setting powder first, because this is like a little more banana-y and I feel like it doesn't make me look as like crusty, ashy. So I'm going to apply just a little bit as like the base. And then I'm going to take the Beauty Bakery No Flour powder. It's a little more yellow, more pale. I just like to use this to kind of brighten it up a little bit. Okay, so I just let this sit here for a little bit, especially while I contour. I forgot to grab my contour palette. Okay. For contour, I'm using the Black Radiance True Complexion Contour Palette. And when you go in and contour, you want to do more like, it's technically a 3. So you start up here. Let me get centered. Start up here, drag down here, and go here. I don't personally like to do it like that. I feel like it's just a bit much, so I'll start here and I'll go like a side to side motion. You want to go from the top of your ear, so from here to about the corner of your eye. So here's the corner of my eye, about right here is where I would stop, so about right there. And you just go side to side, and then you could do like buffing motions and start to take it upwards. I contour my forehead because I have a large forehead, but contouring your forehead is it's optional. If you don't have a large forehead, say you have a small forehead, you don't want to contour that forehead because you don't want to make it look even smaller. You want to highlight more of the forehead if you have a small forehead to make it look larger. If you have a large forehead, you want to highlight less and contour more to create more shadow to make it look like it's a little smaller. All my big forehead girls out there, there's makeup for us. So I'm just going around the edges and just kind of buffing and blending it into the hairline, into where I put the highlighting powder and all of that. Sometimes I'll run it underneath of my jaw down here, just to kind of add a little bit of shadow. But I also like to take, since this one is more so bronzing for me, I like to take my Becca multitasking powder, and this is in the shade Deep Bronze. It's pretty deep, it's pretty dark, and I like to use this to contour. So I'll take a Morphe M530, which is a nice small chiseled brush, and I'll just go right in the hollows and see how that just creates a nice little shadow. Creates nice shadow for the contour. I did want to mention, if you have drier skin, do not bake your under eye, or if you bake it for like 30 seconds, but do not like overly bake your under eye or anything like that, because it can really accentuate any texture, any dry patches. Oh my gosh, I had to learn that the hard way with clients, like when they have drier skin, not to bake them. Use a brush and set them like this, because the powder would just cling to dry patches, and it just wasn't pretty. So I'm going to contour my nose, same contour palette. I'm using the Sigma E39 Buff and Blend eyeshadow brush, and just, I know there's some black women that don't like to contour because they don't want to, like, I don't really know how to explain it, don't want to make it like they don't like their nose or whatever it may be, and I personally don't think like that. I just do it because it's what I've done for so long, and I like it. So now I'm gonna use my powder to clean it up. Okay, you guys, so for blush, I'm sure that you guys can already know what blush I'm going to use, but with blush, I usually like to use a blush that will look good on, like, with any eye look. So my favorite is the color, what is this? Black Radiance Artesian Blush in Toasted Almond. This blush looks good with any kind of makeup look. Usually when I do more pink looks, I'll use a little more pink blush. When I do more berry red tones, I'll use more berry or red blushes. I think that brands are getting better when it comes to blushes for deeper, darker skin tones, but it used to be such a struggle to find a blush that will work for our darker skin tone. So I'm just going to use this, and I'm using a dual fiber brush because that is my favorite way to apply blush. I feel like it doesn't allow the blush to be overpowering. And also, I'm using a really light blush. Like, it just looks so pretty. Love, love, love this blush. So last but not least is highlighter when it comes to a full coverage face. Let me mention that because this is definitely excessive to some people, and to other people it might not be enough. So highlighter is just meant to add a little bit of glow, a natural glow if you use a lighter highlighter, a more intense glow if you're using a really shimmery, glittery highlighter. Personally, I like for my highlighter to be nice and poppin'. Like, I want my highlighter to be thebomb.com. So my favorite is the Marc Jacobs Omega Glaze highlighter. So expensive, it's like $50, but it's my favorite. It's very golden in tone. It's huge, so you get a lot of product. You get 10 grams or 0.35 ounces of this product, and it's just amazing. So I'm going to use a pencil brush for my nose because I personally like to highlight the tip and the bridge of my nose. It's not necessary. I know some people don't like for this, but it also helps catch the light. Helps catch the light. Like, am I saying that right? And then the main part that you want to apply the highlighter is on the cheekbones. I'm using this BH Cosmetics brush. I don't know, it doesn't have a name. And I'm just going to apply this onto the top of my cheekbone. And if you're going for a nice, light, like, natural kind of highlight, something like that will be enough. Not enough for me, but it could be enough. I highlight my Cupid's bow because it helps accentuate the shape of it, and when I apply my lip liner, it just really helps make it pop. And then I also like to take it above my eyebrow. And I know you guys don't like that, but now after I apply the first bit, I am pretty much done. I'll spray my face with this Mario Badescu facial spray or whatever facial spray is closest to me. This is just going to refresh all of the face. If you use foundation, concealer, powder, contour, highlighter, all that stuff, you want to make sure that you set your face. It could be with anything. Okay, you guys, so that wraps up my flawless foundation routine, or an easy way, simple, I was going to say simplify, well, I was going to say simplify, a simple way to apply foundation or a foundation routine. I really hope that I helped one of you guys out there with whether it's skincare, whether it's how to apply the foundation, whether it's picking a highlighter for your skin tone, whatever it may be. I really hope that I helped you guys. And if you have any questions, please leave them down below. And if I don't get back to it down below, you can always send me a DM on Instagram or Twitter. That's Makeup by Lon. But I think that's about it, you guys. Thank you you so much for watching. If you haven't already gone ahead and subscribed, please go ahead and subscribe. And I'll see you guys very soon. Mwah. Bye, guys.